Good morning, my fellow Canadians. Well, just some thoughts that I think bear consideration. We're in a war. Now, I know it sounds like an exaggeration, but it's not. We're in a war. The forces arrayed against us are massive and well funded. It brought me back to a conversation I had quite a number of years ago in group discussion with a bunch of, I'd say, left-leaning, not hardcore leftists, but left-leaning, civilized, nice people. Misguided, I thought, in a lot of ways. I won't go into it chapter and verse, it's not really germane. Many, many years ago, I lost the luxury of self-delusion and realized that I had to be practical and pragmatic and base my life decisions on those two things, pragmatism and realistic expectations. Not to say that I lost hope or lost my ability to dream or wish that things could be better. I still have that. I still believe that things could be better. I still have a dream that Canada can get back on track. I have a hope that we can get a government that will bring us back to sound Canadian values and principles, that we will get a government that will care about the people of Canada, that will govern the people of Canada, not dominate the people of Canada. I have hopes that my nephew, my buddy's child, will live in a better country than the one we have now. But the realist and the pragmatist in me says that unless we're willing to do hard things, make hard choices, we're going to lose. So when I was talking to them, I brought up the analogy of a street fighter. If you get a street fighter goes against a boxer, the boxer will lose. The boxer boxes according to the rules. There are rules in boxing. A gutter fighter has no rules. So they'll gouge your eyes out, kick you in the testicles. They will do anything to win. And the only way you beat somebody like that is if you are willing to pull out all the stops and do anything to win. Anything to win. You cannot fight an ethical and moral fight against someone who has no ethics or morals. So it was posed to me, if you're willing to do these things, if I'm willing to do these things, how am I any different from my opponent? How can I claim to be a better person or a more moral or ethical person than the person I'm fighting? And I had to think about that. And I said, it's very simple. Conclusion I came to. What is your end game? If you are attacking me with the intention of depriving me of my rights, depriving me of my civil liberties, depriving me of my goods, legally acquired goods, if you're attacking me to dominate me, to force me to live a lifestyle, to deny me my choice, to live a lifestyle that you see I should live, you're attacking me. If I fight the way you fight, I am defending my liberties, defending my way of life, defending my right to choose, defending free speech, defending my country. That is a distinct difference and a major distinction between the two of us. I bring this up because I had a post communication with a friend of mine who says that George Soros is in Gitmo. He's been arrested. And he's positive of this because his friend, who was a Marine, told him that this is so. And, it's one of these, I heard from a friend who heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend routine. You did not actually witness this. I did not actually see him in Guantanamo Bay under detention. Now, I don't live in the land of fairy tales and unicorns and fairy dust. I live in the real world. Do I wish it were true? Yeah. Do I believe it's true? Sadly not. I don't think it's cynicism. Again, I think it's reality. And that's what I have to live with, reality. We've seen a mindset from a group with an absolutely unabashed, shameless lust for power, and not to do good for the people whom they govern. They don't want to govern. They wish to dominate. We're watching free speech under constant attack. We're seeing it across social media. We're seeing the power elite funding actual violence to advance their agenda, to promote and promulgate civil unrest, to tear down a structure that they don't like. So essentially, what you think doesn't matter. They have their agenda, they have their beliefs, and they are perfectly willing to use any and every means at their disposal to ram this down your throat. Now there are rumblings that there's going to be another election upcoming. And I predict right now that unless things change drastically, the Liberals will win again. Because they have no morals, they have no ethics, they are the gutter fighter. They will rig the system, they will rig the election, they will do anything to hang on to power. Get it? Nothing is too base, nothing is too low, nothing is too immoral, nothing is too unethical in the pursuit of their agenda. So if you don't think we're in a war, then you're deluding yourself. And like I said, that's a luxury I don't have. I would love to see the conservatives realize this. I would love to see the conservatives more aggressive, much more aggressive. The conservatives' biggest problem is we are conservative. We believe in rules. We believe things should be done from a moral base, from an ethical grounding. Once again, against someone who recognizes those things not at all. My poor Canada, we saw what happened to the US. The cornerstone, which I went on in a previous post, of a free society is the knowledge that your vote can make a difference. And they rigged the system to negate the will of the people. That is dictatorship, where you no longer have your voice counted, your wishes counted. No, this is the agenda. You will obey. Don't question, obey. Don't ask questions, obey. Do as you're told. This is the narrative. Don't question. Adhere to it. There is no discussion allowed. There is no other viewpoint but our viewpoint. And it frightens the hell out of me that the cynicism of those in power, they know this is not for the benefit of the people. This is in pursuit of their agenda. Even, to say that, we're doing this or to the pretext that they're doing this for the benefit of Canadians, raising your taxes, the carbon tax that Trudeau promised he would not do. Remember that? Another promise broken. How many ethical violations, how many scandals, how many lies have come out of Ottawa and the Liberal government? And still, people will vote Liberal. And if not enough people will vote Liberal, well, They've already floated the idea of mail-in ballots and voting machines. Then they will use COVID as the excuse for pushing this. And why are they pushing these things? Because it worked for Biden. Because the Democrats got their way by rigging the vote. I mean, people say, no, it's a conspiracy theory. Bullshit. The evidence, enough of it is out there. Without the vote rigging, would Trump have won? I think so. I don't think the American people are that stupid. I hope the Canadian people aren't that stupid. What I find amazing is that the Liberals would be so blatant as to propose a system that lends itself to vote tampering and try to push it down our throats without any subtlety whatsoever. And they're trusting to the stupidity of the Canadian people to allow this to go forward. So to my fellow Conservatives, I say this: take off the gloves. I'm not talking about actual physical confrontation. If it's brought to you, defend yourself. What I'm saying is take off the gloves. No more Mr. Nice Guy. If someone spews out garbage, tell them they're an idiot. Make sure you have your facts in a row. But the time for civilized discourse, the time for civilized behavior, if you wish to see Canada as Canada, you're going to have to be prepared to get nasty. I'm not talking about physical violence. I'm not talking about anarchy. I'm not talking about insurrection. I'm talking about the fact you're going to have to get vocal. And you're going to have to get aggressive in the pursuit of your goals. Because if we don't, Canada as Canada will cease to exist. We're swirling down the drain now. And if the Liberals get in again, Canada as Canada is lost. That's not an exaggeration. All the signs are there if you choose to open your eyes. So the fight's coming, and you're going to have to determine how you're going to respond. Sadly, but true. So, my fellow Canadians, prepare for battle. Or roll over and let the steamroller run right over you, and be prepared to be a slave to the will of your masters. And if you're content with that, you're not a Canadian. Have a good day.